Josh Allen.
How we doing?
What are your thoughts on Josh Allen?
Scares me. He got me last time we played.
Sack and interception.
Yeah. He's coming off a really good week too. He's a baller, man. He's still considered kind of a young guy in this league, but he's playing really good football right now. And their defensive group right now is playing at a high level. They work together very well. So we're gonna have our hands full.
What do you? I mean, maybe it's tough to. You're both first-round draft picks. You're apart. It's like, I mean,
First round, 7th overall, back-to-back years. I still think that's kind of crazy. Same name.
like, what do you make of that? Do you ever get confused? I mean,
Do I forget confused?
not confused, but I'm just saying, like, internet searches. It's like, you look at Josh Allen, you go, oh no, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's pretty crazy. He's one of the predominant pass rushers in this league. I think everybody that plays against them has to have a plan in place for him. We're going to be no different. We've played some really good D lines already early in this year, and it's not stopping this week with this group. And again, I think their DBs do such a great job of working together. Their linebackers are flying around the ball. They got 2 Wyoming guys, Muma and Wingard. Those are my guys. So those guys are good ball players.
Josh, your completion percentage is at an all-time high right now, career high. What does that say?
I think Coach Dorsey's doing a good job of calling good concepts for our guys to get open. They're getting open, they're catching the ball, and that's about it.
Do you notice a difference between year one with Dorsey, kind of that relationship, and what it has been like through the first 4 games? Is it similar? Are there things you guys have changed?
I think it's fairly similar in a lot of ways. But I've got so much trust in what he's doing. He's got trust in what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to be an extension of him when I'm on the football field. But in terms of our communication pre-game, throughout the week in practice, letting him know what I do like, him being responsive to that and hearing me out. Because ultimately, we want to call plays that our guys are comfortable with, plays that I'm comfortable with, and plays that Dorsey likes. So sometimes, those all 3 have to match up, and trying to get our guys in good position to catch the football and run the football for that matter. So he's doing a really good job with that.
You mentioned it this game in London. Are you excited about this trip, or I know you're probably not thrilled with losing a home game, and the spectacle that comes with going overseas? Is that more of a distraction, or how do you view it?
I've never played over there, so I couldn't give you an honest answer. I've never been to London. In terms of flight time and stuff like that, it's going to be weird being an East Coast team not flying back in time. So in terms of like body clock, just making sure that we're staying on top of that, trusting what our sports science people are telling us here, trusting what our trainers are telling us, being hydrated as much as possible, and trying to get as much sleep as possible. I think that's one thing that we've had guys that have done that, and that's the one thing that keeps coming up is just sleep cycle. So making sure we're getting our rest and doing everything we can do to be prepared on Sunday.
We talked to Sean a little bit about that, and he mentioned sports science again and how much research has kind of gone into this. What are they telling you guys? Is it like sleep on the plane, stay up Friday when you land? I know you go right from the airport or whatever your place and you have a practice or whatever. And what advice are you getting in advance of this?
Honestly, it's sleep on the plane, making sure we're trying to sleep all the way through on the plane. I'm not exactly sure how our operation's going to be when we get there. I haven't really looked at the schedule quite yet. But again, I trust what coach is telling us and trust what our people are telling us here. So just trying to stick to that as much as possible.
One follow-up to that, with all that you've been through in terms of games being moved due to snow, you've had to deal with a lot of logistical things, pandemic-related as far back as that. Is there like a framework of preparation for dealing with whatever logistical challenge a trip like this presents? Is that even relevant?
Some may say yes. I'm kind of more also like it's football at the end of the day. You got to be able to play your best in whatever process that everybody goes through for their own way. Make sure you get it done and be ready to go on Sunday.
Does it feel like a home game? Like you're the home team, knowing that they've been there the whole week and they've played in that stadium and you never have?
Yeah, in terms of home game, not really, and I don't know. yeah, it doesn't bother me. I do feel like Bills Mafia is going to show some support in London, so hopefully there's a good fan base there for us and giving us a good boost.
Josh,
What's
kind
your
of on
favorite
that
British
note,
slang?
Can you give me some examples?
Oh,
A
there's so
trunk's a
many.
boot.
Mind the gap.
Bloody governor.
Josh, I saw a graphic from the NFL UK from last year saying that you're in the top 5 jersey sales in the UK. Just, are you aware of your popularity across the pond? And just as a player, what do you feel your role is in helping to grow the game internationally when you go to play a game like in London or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm liked, loved, or hated there. I guess we'll find out on Sunday. But in terms of just being, we're all ambassadors of this game, especially when we travel abroad and play. So the best way that we can help support this game is just put as good a product on the field as we can and play at as a high level as we can. And it comes down to execution on Sunday. So we're just trying to get prepared for that this week. Had a good practice today, making sure we continue with meetings today and tomorrow and finish strong with the practice tomorrow. Get on the plane and get ready to go.
You mentioned an elite pass rusher on their side of the ball. You got a pretty good one back today on the practice field. How big of a boost is that for you guys to see him out there on the practice field and potentially on the game field on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it's Von Miller, first ballot Hall of Famer. The juice that he brings for the guys, the trust that everybody has in him. He's the ultimate closer. So whenever he's ready to go, we're going to welcome him with open arms and put him back there and hopefully can pin his ears back and get the quarterback. But, our guys have been doing such a good job. I don't want to take anything away from the guys that have been playing, bringing in Flo and the guys that are playing well, Greg and AJ are stepping up and interior guys are playing really well too. So it's a very, very good unit adding a very, very good player, one of the greatest to play.
Josh, you haven't played this early probably since your Pee-wee years, right? So how much does that play in the back of your mind that you're really going to be playing like around 9:30 a.m. even though you're going to be across the pond?
Hopefully we can, like I said, trust our guys and gals in here that are telling us how to get our sleep and our rest so it doesn't feel that early. But yeah, it's football.
Josh, you mentioned the fans earlier. Sean, after the game, talked about how loud it was on Sunday, and hearing from some fans too, saying it was as loud as they can remember that stadium being. I know when you're doing your job, you're asking for it to be quiet, but what was your impression of how noisy it was in there when the defense was out there? Was it as loud as you can remember?
It was, but it could be louder. So that's a challenge to Bills fans. I was on the sideline trying to get people going on those last 3rd and 4th downs. They can give us a little more, I think. That's a challenge to Bills fans. That we're going to need you here coming up, obviously, when we play at home, and it's such a big advantage for us when we're able to do that, but I think we got a little bit more on us.
Josh, how do you really focus up after a big victory versus the Dolphins? We know it was a big win because it was the last win, but how do you focus up against a real good Jacksonville team this time?
Well, you said it. They're a really good team. They've shown that they can play at a high level. They're a playoff team. They got a really good quarterback on that side of the ball, some really good playmakers. So we got to understand that, and it's the biggest one on our schedule because it's the next one, and we're not changing anything that we're doing throughout the week other than traveling a day early. But in terms of preparation and game planning, they have our entire focus. It's a really good team that's going to take 60 minutes of football on Sunday.
Does Steph do anything that surprises you at this point, like breaking the tackle for that second touchdown, or is there anything that he does at this point that you're like, wow? Or
Not really. No, it's Stephon Diggs, man, and he should have gotten Player of the Week this week. So that's all I'll say. Go Bills.